Why are you doing this? Excellent. I love when technology works for me. We're doing it, everybody. All right, it's 10 a.m. It's Friday and it's time for Lit Lattes. Bridget is on a very well-deserved vacation, so no fancy stuff today. I don't even have a guest due to a scheduling conflict, but that's fine. We're gonna just talk about new releases and this week in history. So let's get started. Oh, well, I guess there's some sun outside, but it feels like a very dreary day. The book I finished this morning has put me in a mood. I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's just jump into some of this week's new releases. New to the library. The first one up is The Daughter of Foxcoat Manor. I took a poll and decided that that was Foxcoat. If Tina says that that's what it is, then that's what it is. It's by Eve Chase, and basically it's about this family who takes in a baby, and the nanny who knows all of their secrets. It's a mystery family drama. It sounds really interesting. And I guess Sylvie, who is the nanny, is also forced to face the secrets of her own family's past. So it looks good. It's such a lovely cover. Oh, anything that has plants on it, I want to read. I have my blue light glasses on today. I hope you like them. They're my power glasses. I feel like a librarian when I wear them. And then I got a chain for them because that's fun, right? Ugh. All right. Next book is The Coyotes of Carthage by Stephen Wright. I feel like this book is so relevant for right now. Well, for like the past 10 or 20 years. The cover. So Dre Ross has one more shot. Despite being a successful political consultant, his aggressive tactics have put him on thin ice with his boss, Mrs. Fitz, who plucked him from juvenile incarceration and mentored his career. She exiles him to the backwoods of South Carolina with $250,000 of dark money to introduce a ballot initiative on behalf of a mining company. The goal, I'm so sorry, I swallowed wrong. The goal is to manipulate the locals into voting to sell their pristine public land to the highest bidder. I hope this has a good ending. I really hope. I'll probably read it. It looks pretty good. Ooh, John Grisham. And it's a little something on the cover. I just realized that no one has opened this yet. That's how new it is. The Coyotes of Carthage. Looks like a good one. I love the cover of this. The next book is A Private Cathedral by James Lee Burke. After finding himself caught up in one of Louisiana's oldest and bloodiest family rivalries, Detective Dave Robichaud must battle the most terrifying adversary he's ever encountered, a time-traveling superhuman assassin. That sounds so wild. So good. Ooh, Michael Connelly is on the back of this one. This has a lot of really good reviews. Stephen King, you'll want to pick this up for sure. This episode is going to be so short, but that's fine. Sometimes we just need a little break. I've seen this and I bought it on purpose. We have the Finger Lakes in central New York 5-star trails. I'm stealing this. I'm not stealing, I'm borrowing it because it's a library for this weekend. It has a ton of maps. And what I like most about this book is that it like breaks trails down by like best for fall, best trails for kids, lakes, vistas, and waterfalls. Basically, it goes from south of Syracuse, like Cazenovia, all the way to like Rochester. So that very central New York area. I wish the pictures were color, but what are you gonna do? You just walk in Glen State Park. I'm excited. I'll let you know if I go any hikes on this weekend. The last book that we're going to talk about, actually like physical book, is Everything Beautiful in Its Time, which is by Jenna Bush Hager. You might know her from the Today Show. You all might know her as being George W. Bush's one of his twin daughters. So she wrote this book to pay homage to her grandparents, George and Barbara, in this collection of heartwarming, intimate, personal essays. It's filled with love, laughter, and unforgettable stories, and it captured the joyous and bittersweet nature of life itself. Ooh, and there's pictures. Who doesn't love pictures? Oh, family. Yay. So this has been on so many lists. This, what was I gonna say? I've known, like, they've really pushed this out long time ago, and we finally have it. So it should be good. I've really have started enjoying memoirs. And I'll talk a little bit about it because I'm also almost done with Adrienne Martini's book. I have another memoir right here that I snagged that Adrienne also wrote. I'll talk about that later. Let's just finish with audiobooks. Like I say all the time, I love book covers. I feel like that they're so important. So I love the cover of this. This is the same as the regular book, but this is When We Were Vikings, by Andrew David MacDonald. It's the story of Zelda, who is a high-functioning adult with fetal alcohol syndrome. She lives with her older brother, Gert, a man who should be in college but instead works as a runner for a local gang. It sounds maybe not kind of fun, but she's a Viking enthusiast who lives, like I said, with her older brother. And they have some basic rules. 1, a smile means thank you for doing something small that I liked. 2, fist bumps and dabs equal respect. 3, strange people are not appreciated in her home. 4, tomatoes must go in the middle of the sandwich and not get the bread wet. I've been making sandwiches wrong my entire life. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so when she finds her brother doing something questionable and dangerous, um, she decides to launch her own quest and her mission to be legendary. So it sounds kind of fun. So come either pick up the actual book or the audiobook of When We Were Vikings. The next one is a little older, and I put it in here because we talked about the author last week, but it's Margaret Atwood's Life Before Man. I think this came out like a long time ago. 1979 is the copyright date on the back. But who doesn't love Margaret, especially after all that we learned about her last week? But this book explores the lives of three people imprisoned by walls of their own construction and enthralled to the tragic comedy we call love. Elizabeth, with her controlled sensuality and suppressed rage, has just lost her last lover to suicide. So that would make sense about the title. I can't free talk during these. I get super off track, don't make sense. Anyway, so these are the new items that we have in the library. I love when I go searching for new books downstairs, that a lot of the things that I recommend are gone. I don't know if that's by chance or if you're taking them out because I am talking about them. I'm gonna go with the latter, because why not? Right, so what am I reading? I'm just about to finish Somebody's Gotta Do It. I have like maybe 40-ish pages left by Adrienne Martini. I am loving this book. I will tell you right now, I would never pick this book up. I'm not super into politics. I am, but I'm not. I'm choosing not to be right now. I'm digging myself in a hole. Politics is just not something that I would read about, especially local politics, because it seems kind of boring. I am finding that local politics are so, so important. And the thing, and like truly the government that really dictates our every day-to-day life, which I never realized. I just always think of the federal level. And that's not the case. So it's very interesting. And what is really hooking me is that it is so delightfully written. She has a super good sense of humor. There's many pop culture references like Parks and Rec, which is one of my favorite TV shows, and The Big Lebowski, which is one of my favorite movies. But yeah, please read it. Please join our conversation that we're going to have on Tuesday about this book, especially in an election year. So it's going to be really fun. I told her I can't wait to actually talk to her, because reading this book, I just feel like she's my friend now. Last week, Des talked about her favorite book, The Coma. After our episode, she found it on Hoopla. So I listened to it on Wednesday on my car ride in. It's only 2 hours long, so I'm assuming that the ebook is also very short. It was kind of fun, even though the topic is not kind of fun. I thought it was really interesting because the way that it is written, it makes you just think that the activities in his day-to-day life is real until he realizes that this is just his coma dream that's playing out in his head. It was very interesting. And I don't know if Des mentioned it on the actual episode, but Alex Garland also wrote 28 Days Later, that zombie movie, and the beginning of that. I guess I'm probably messing this up, but the coma and the start of 28 Days Later, where if you haven't seen the movie, where this guy goes into the hospital, and then when he wakes up, his world is totally changed. So it was good. It's super short. I laughed out loud a couple of times. So because it's short and because Jez loves it, I will recommend it. I'll give it my 2 thumbs up for you to also read and or listen to. So I needed a cleanse from all, not a cleanse, but I just needed a little change of pace. Pearls banging into my face is driving me insane. I needed a break from magic realism, mystery, murder. I just needed to read a nice book. Not that the other ones were not just fantastic in their own way, but I've been seeing a book called Writers and Lovers by Lily King, just kind of around. And so I decided to listen to it this week, and I think I loved it. I every book that I finish, I just assume that I'm like, oh, I love this book. But I really connected to it. I forgot several times that this book takes place in 1999, but there's so many things about it that you think that it takes place right now, making it kind of timeless. But I super identified with the main character, Casey, who, you know, has gone to college, grad school, has a ton of student loan debt, is kind of just making it through, scared to go get anything checked because she doesn't have medical insurance because it's so expensive. But Casey is a writer. Actually, Casey is not her real name. And just her life is kind of complicated. She is a writer, working at a restaurant, like kind of a classy restaurant in Boston, and she gets over a bad breakup and then starts, you know, kind of seeing 2 guys at the same time. One is kind of her age, a little bit more free spirit. Actually, when they go on their first date, he cancels because he goes out west for like 3 weeks. And the other guy is also, they're both guys are writers, but the second one is like more established, has 2 kids, his wife died from cancer, and you're like, God, I hope he picks him. God, I hope she picks him. But it doesn't go that. It's just a really lovely book. I think I like Lily King now, and I hope she has other books. But yeah, it was good, but it just made me feel away this morning as I was coming into work. So I suggest reading that. And next week, I think I'm going to start reading some historical fiction. I know we did bingo sheets here for the summer, for our summer reading program, but I'm not sure if it's on Facebook, but on Instagram, there is a page I follow called Bookish First. They do monthly bingo sheets based on the month. So this month they have, you know, a tile that's published in September, or a book that has a red or orange cover. So they're kind of like themed, but that's pretty much like how I pick now what I'm going to read for the month. It's kind of fun. There's no prizes, but I'm on track to reading 9 books this month. As someone who did not read a lot, now I'm but yeah, so that's what I'm reading. This week in history, we're celebrating 2 huge heavy hitters birthdays. Leo Tolstoy was born September 9th, 1828. Of course, he wrote those big bad boys, War and Peace and Anna Karenina. When I found out the two people's birthdays, I was like, I want to add fun facts because we love fun facts. So two things about Tolstoy. The Russian Orthodox Church excommunicated him. And he also inspired a cult and Gandhi. Just Google Leo Tolstoy fun facts. Those things will pop up immediately if you want more of a reason as to why those two things happened. And also this Sunday is, I can never pronounce his name and I'm so embarrassed, but it's Roald Dahl's birthday. He was born on September 13th in 1916. He was born to Norwegian parents, I think in Wales, somewhere in the UK. I didn't write that down, so I'm just taken off the top of my head. He wrote most of his books in his garden shed, and he was a spy in World War II. That's so fun. I love hearing about people's lives. Doesn't even matter if you wrote a book. People are just so interesting. Wasn't Julia Child also a World War II spy? People are so cool. All right, that's it for this week's Lit Lattes. Next week, hopefully, we are talking to Catherine, our children's librarian. So we're going to talk so much about children's books and young adult books and things that she loves. And I think we're going to add her into the show because I realize a lot of parents watch this. So if you're also looking for book recs for your children, look out for that starting next week. Have a wonderful weekend and a lovely Friday, and we will see you next week. Take care.